In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, but the Spirit of God was there, hovering over the waters. On the first day, God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw that the light was good, and He separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness He called night. On the second day, God said, "Let there be a space between the waters to separate water from water." And it was so. God called the space sky. On the third day, God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered to one place, and let dry ground appear." And it was so. God called the dry ground land, and the gathered waters He called seas. God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let the land produce plants and trees that bear fruit and seeds according to their kinds." And it was so. The land produced vegetation, and God saw that it was good. On the fourth day, God said, "Let there be lights in the sky to separate the day from the night, and let them give light on earth." And it was so. God made two great lights, the greater light for the day, and the lesser light for the night. He also created the stars. God set them in the sky to give light on earth, and God saw that it was good. On the fifth day, God said, "Let the waters swarm with living creatures." So God created the great creatures of the sea, and every living thing with which the water swarms. He also said, "Let birds fly above the earth in the sky." So God created every winged bird according to its kind. God saw that it was good. On the sixth day, God said, "Let the land produce living creatures according to their kinds, the livestock, the creatures that move along the ground, and the wild animals." God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let us make mankind in our own image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all of the wild animals, and over all of the living creatures that move along the ground." So God created mankind in His own image. In the image of God He created them. Male and female he created them. God blessed them and said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth and conquer it." By the seventh day, God had finished all the work he had been doing. So on the seventh day he rested. God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on it he rested from all the work of creating he had done. God saw all that he had made, and it was very good. Let's look closer at God's creation. The sky. Proverbs 3:19-20. Using his wisdom, the Lord made the earth. Using his understanding, he set the sky in place. Using his knowledge, he made rivers flow from underground springs, and he made the clouds drop rain on the earth. When God placed the clouds in the sky, he created them with a purpose. Without clouds, it can't rain. Without rain, the grass cannot grow. Oceans would dry up, and wild animals couldn't drink. Land, seas, and vegetation. Psalm 95:5. The sea is his because he made it. He created the land with his own hands. God had a very specific plan in mind when he formed the earth. He knew that the life he would be creating soon would need a habitat. Fish would need a place to swim, animals a place to roam, and of course every living thing would need food. This purposeful design couldn't have happened by accident. Sun, moon, and stars. Isaiah 40:26. Look up to the skies. Who created all these stars? He leads out all the army of heaven one by one. He calls all the stars by name. He is very strong and full of power, so not one is missing. Our sun is very complex and powerful. It was perfectly placed within our solar system so that Earth receives the right amount of light and heat from it. If it were any closer to us, the Earth would be way too hot for us to live here. And if it were any farther away, we would all be freezing. God positioned this perfectly. The moon is also very important. As it moves around the Earth's gravity keeps it in orbit. The gravity force is very strong. The same amount of force is exerted by the moon, except it is a little higher on Earth at the point nearest the moon. This pull will make water bulge towards it, and this is called a high tide. You have probably seen a high tide at the beach. High and low tides are very important. They prevent ocean waters from being stagnant, they cleanse the shorelines, and they maintain the currents. The stars that God hung in the sky are a visual display of His majesty. Even though they all appear similar in color and size to us on Earth, stars actually differ in color and brightness. The coolest stars are red, while the hottest stars are blue. Creatures of the sea. Job 12:7-10. Speak to the earth, and it will teach you, or let the fish of the sea tell you. Every one of these knows that the hand of the Lord has done this. The life of every creature and the breath of all people are in God's hands. There are many creatures living in the seas, and it is very good that our God had a great plan when He began working to create our world. Because of how He gathered the waters to one place, there's a specific place designed for the fish and the great creatures of the sea to live. Birds. Matthew 6:26. Look at the birds in the air. They don't plant or harvest or store foods in barns, but your heavenly Father feeds the birds. Are you not more valuable than they are? Birds are specifically designed to fly. Their bones are hollow but very strong. This makes birds lightweight, and in combination with their perfectly shaped wings, this causes them to fly effortlessly through the air. Land animals. Psalm 104:14. He makes grass grow for the cattle and plants for people to cultivate, bringing forth food from the earth. God's design allowed for food to be provided for animals before they were ever created. The grass was set in place on the third day of creation, with the purpose of feeding the animals on day 6. Humans. Genesis 2:7. Then the Lord took dust from the ground and formed man from it. The Lord breathed the breath of life into the man's nose, and the man became a living person. We are all God's creation. He made each and every one of us with a specific purpose in mind. Not only are we put on earth to take care of God's creation, but we are put here to tell others about Him. He loves us and He knows us all by name. So go and tell everyone that you know about God. Thanks for visiting the Creation Dome.